All right, so we are going to get started. It's a little past 8 o'clock. I know some people had some technical difficulties joining tonight, so we might have some stragglers trickle in. So welcome to our first group Zoom call of the year for 2022. I just want to start off by saying we had an amazing 2021. I think, don't quote me, I'll have to look at Ray's text messages, but if you were on my team, I think we ranked 14th in all of the team's TWV. So that's super exciting for our team. Yep, we were 14th, which is really awesome and exciting out of 1,635 consultants. So that's great. I'm excited because we're going to beat it this year. All right. So just a couple of, I guess we'll call it housekeeping things. And a lot of the leaders that are on this call, we have discussed this, but we're going to try some new things this year. And the first thing, I lost my pen. The first thing that we are going to be doing is called Monday Matters. And each Monday of the month, we're going to rotate, and kind of that whoever that person is in charge of the Monday Matters, and it's going to be every Monday at 8 o'clock. So we're really trying to work on consistency with you guys. So again, every Monday, 8 o'clock, somebody will be doing a Monday Matters. It could be a theme. They could be an open forum, come with type of questions, kind of whatever that leader is wanting to do that week. But that is hopefully going to kickstart everybody's weeks. And again, Monday, you know how they say working out, never skip a Monday. Same thing with our business. We want to start the week strong, and starting Monday strong with Monday Matters. So again, every Monday at 8 o'clock, somebody will be doing that. So check out the team page for that. Another thing that we are trying to be consistent with is our group Zoom. So we have already scheduled them for the entire year, and they are going to be the third Tuesday of every month. And it's going to be the same link, same time. Again, just trying to streamline everything so that it's a lot easier as our teams grow. They know that consistency. Okay, third Tuesday of every month, group Zoom. Monday Matters every Monday. Just again, that consistency I think is huge for our teams, because that's what we preach is consistency. Showing up consistently for your business is what's going to make it grow. So again, just being kind of consistent across the board with our leadership. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is our incentive. So we are still currently in an incentive period. It ends the 31st. I think January has 31 days at midnight Pacific time. So I know we still have a lot of people that are pushing for level 1, level 2. So you guys keep pushing. Anything is possible. I know we have some really, really close people. So I'm really excited to see who earns what levels. And we already have some people that have earned levels. So yay. But what I really wanted to talk about with the incentive is, with the incentives, and the biggest thing that I want you guys to take away is if you did not earn this incentive, it is okay. I promise you that it's okay. But don't get discouraged and think that you've failed. Because the biggest thing that I have learned doing Scentsy is incentives are earned outside of the incentive period. And they're earned by, again, doing things consistently. So partying consistently, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, building up that customer base, which then also in turn gives you more of a pool to have people join your team come the fall. It sets you up for success if you are consistently working your business outside of that incentive period. And when the fall comes, you have people to host parties. You have people to ask, hey, I have a discounted kit. Do you want to join? Or have you ever thought about making money on your own purchases? If you're doing those things the first 6 months, I promise you, you will earn every single incentive with Scentsy, but it will be very, very, very hard to earn incentives, especially those big trips, because again, it takes a lot of points for PRV, sponsoring, coaching. They focus on the 3 legs of success. It will be very hard to earn an incentive if you're only working 6 months out of the calendar year. That's basically 50% of the time that you're working your business. So I really want us to focus these next 6 months and really break those comfort zones of planting the seeds so that they grow in the fall, so that they grow during these incentives. And I will say, I had 3 people join, I think it was in August, and all 3 of those people did parties with me in the spring. And I planted those seeds in the spring. So again, if you do the hard work consistently, it does pay off, but we've got to work hard these first 6 months. And last thing about the incentive, I firmly believe that anybody on our team, group, whatever, can earn these incentives. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, you guys can do it. I'm nobody special. It just takes hard work and consistency. So our spring incentive, I don't know if it's going to be starting in February or March. I heard they're doing things a little bit different for the spring. So stay tuned. Whenever that announcement gets posted, I'm sure we'll all be messaging and talking about it. So definitely keep pushing if you are close to the incentive. All right. Next, we are going to kind of like the meat of tonight's meeting, and then we will do an open forum type of discussion at the end. But really, with this being our first meeting, I really wanted to focus on getting back to the basics. So what are the basics is the 3 legs of success. And you guys can say it or you can type it in the comments. Do you guys know what the 3 legs of success are or is? Anyone? Crickets. Don't make me call somebody out. All right, so Gina said PRV. Okay, Allison said PRV, recruiting, self-care. Close, Allison. You're missing one of the legs. So
PRV, sponsoring and coaching, with
yes,
the top of the stool being self-care.
Yes, you got it. So the 3 legs, like Laura just said, is PRV, recruiting, and coaching. And then the seat, which kind of holds the legs together, is the self-care. Because we know if you are pouring from an empty cup, the rest is going to crumble. You have to be okay, mentally, physically, spiritually, across the board, whatever fills your cup up, do that, and then focus on those 3 legs. But those 3 legs are the basics of our business. And it starts with PRV. It starts with parties and booking parties. We are a party in the party business, I guess, and that's where Scentsy thrives. And we know that home parties usually do very, very well because people can see the products, they can touch them, they can smell them. It's right in front of them. Unfortunately, with COVID, things have been a little bit harder. So a lot of people have switched to online parties, which have also been super successful. But it starts with, parties and PRV, which is that first leg of the stool. Once you have your parties booked for the month or next month, Then it goes into sponsoring and coaching. So this year, again, I've met with the directors and superstar consultants within our group. And our goal this year is to cut the fluff and really focus on those 3 legs of success, because that's basically all you need to do in this business to be successful. And we are going to be showing you guys how we're working those 3 legs so you can see the messages that we're having, the joint conversations that we're having, how we're booking parties, how we're following up with customers. Because I think that's kind of where we were missing last year, is we were saying, do this, but a lot of people didn't know how, or didn't know the phrasing or how to say it. So this year, again, we're going to cut the fluff and really focus on those 3 legs of success. And with that, how do I want to say this? So, for example, if you don't have any parties booked for February, you should not be making flyers and all of this stuff on Canva. Or you can, but don't be spending hours upon hours making all of this stuff when you don't have that first leg done. I know we're only halfway through January, but we really need to get back to the basics and focus on booking parties, because that's where we're going to see the most amount of growth within our customer base, and then also our teams growing. So cutting the fluff, that means, again, you don't need to be doing these little cards if you don't have your January parties booked. If you are not front loading for February, now is the time to start front loading for February. Think about our last glance, first chance party. Start planning those parties, because that's what's going to get you your PRV. And then you can make your samples, but there's no point in making all of these elaborate samples if you don't have the customer base to give them to anybody. Does that make sense? Really focusing on booking parties and growing your customer base, and then worry about the samples and the follow-ups. All right. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, and then we can kind of open it up for some discussion, is VIP pages. I am in a lot of people's VIP pages. So I see a lot of posting and sharing and graphics and all of this stuff, which is great. My notifications on Facebook go crazy some days, especially when things are releasing. But this is another area that I really want our group to do better. So for VIP pages, Facebook, or you can even say Instagram, stop posting generic flyers. I promise you, they do not work. I've seen the same flyer posted over and over and over and over and over. It circulates. Make it personal. Put your face with, I don't know, I'm trying to think. If we have a sale on sugar scrub, I don't know. If you have a thing of sugar scrub on hand, take a picture with it, talk about it in your stories, share your face, but getting the things right off of the workstation more than likely is not going to get you the attraction that you're wanting it to get you. Now, being said, obviously some of our Disney or other licensed products, nobody's going to have on hand, right? Like, for example, Harry Potter. Nobody has a Harry Potter. Okay, maybe some people like from home office, they have the Harry Potter, but us consultants don't have Harry Potter warmer yet to take a picture of it. So yes, we have to use some of those generic flyers, images from the workstation, but the biggest thing is try to make it as personable as possible. And that also includes posting a generic image about host a party with me, and just sending it in your VIP page and expecting people to respond to that. People will not respond to that. Or maybe some will, but you won't get the response that you're wanting compared to sending personal, private, one-on-one text messages, phone calls, emails, whatever you guys want to do to communicate in your business. You're going to get a better response from individually asking people. And I'll take it even a step further, individually asking people that you have built a relationship with, because that's what's important in this business, is building those relationships. I promise once you have those relationships built, they are more likely going to party with you. They are more likely going to refer their friends and family to you because they know you take care of them. So again, going forward, really try to send personal messages when it comes to booking parties. Yes, you can post, a graphic in your VIP page and say, oh, host special for February if you're doing something special, but do not expect people to come to you or comment on that post to book your parties. It's not going to work. People are very scared of the word party. I promise you. And once they party with you, they're going to party again and again and again and again with you, because they're going to see how awesome it is and how much free stuff that they can get with Scentsy. So that's pretty much it for VIP page. Just making it personal as possible, and trying to increase engagement. I've done a lot of polls in my VIP page. I've done a lot of freebie Fridays, and I kind of mix it up. I do some where it's a game. Some I've had a game where they have to go to the workstation and they're looking up a specific, scent of a scent circle. Like I'll pick one random scent, and the first person to pick the same scent of a scent circle wins. I've had some that aren't even related to Scentsy at all. So I really try to get a good mix of personal Scentsy in my VIP page to increase engagement. So if you're struggling with that, go back to basics. How can I make this more personal? All right, I'm going to open it up to Gina, Sierra, or Laura. Did you guys want to say anything before we open the floor up for questions?
I think you covered everything that I was thinking about and we talked about. So I don't have anything.
I would just say that part of being in Scentsy, and I'm going to sneeze right now, is so showing up to calls, showing up to lives, showing up on the team page, and really engaging in the community. Engaging with your customers, engaging with your potential customers, engaging with your potential teamies, but also engaging in the team that you have created. I think it's really important. And I feel like we've lost a lot of that. And we kind of need to get back into, because what you have to say is worth something. And you may not think it's a big deal. You may not think, oh, I don't have anything to share. But I promise you, there is somebody who wants to hear what you have done and what you have to say, and know that they're not the only one.
Yes. And I think that's so important that we are all at different spots in our business. We all have something to share, and learn from each other, because what I'm doing, I can guarantee you, nobody else is doing what I'm doing. as far as maybe bring back my bars. Gina did her bring back bars different than I did mine versus maybe Laura did hers differently. And that's what's so great is sharing how we're doing them so we can all learn and say, oh, my felt samples didn't turn out the best. Maybe I'm not going to do that next time.
Yeah, they did. Not doing it that way again.
Yeah. And I've done felt samples and I told myself never again do felts. It just took too much time, which time is so valuable. And that's something right now, I don't have a lot of time to make felt samples of 25 different bars of wax
It's a
when
ton
they're
of
only
work.
around for a month. So I
Yeah.
encourage everyone to please keep sharing on the team page. It really, we're better together, and it really is so powerful when we have so many people posting and sharing and commenting and engaging. It really, really, really goes, it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's very, I don't know, I don't know the right word. It's powerful, I guess, seeing so many people post and engage with each other, because that's where growth happens.
And guys, like with what you just said, Sarah, like you found that you did felt samples and you're like, never again. Post if something's not working. That's okay too. Like, this is how I work today because what I did didn't work 2 days ago. Like, it's okay to spin it back around and be like, you know what? You guys know that I made labels for my planner so that I could have the same task monthly. Well, I hate it. So I'm not doing that anymore. And I kind of loosely posted about that. I'm going to make an actual post of how I've revamped the system yet again, because every once in a blue moon, I get a wild hair at my butt and I decide to redo everything that I've done because I don't like it, to really find how things work for me. I do have one thing that I want to share, and it's a quote, and I wish I knew who I could shout out. I don't know if you guys, any of the other leaders on the page, heard this one. So if you guys know who it's from, let me know because it's so good. I don't know if we heard it on a training call or where I was at, where I wrote it down, but I wrote it down in the notes section on my phone and I keep going back to it. And it's going back to what Sarah said with cutting the fluff and really focusing on those 3 legs of success. And the quote is, growth is weeding the garden or losing the crop. And it's powerful, guys. Like, if you really think about that and going back to paying attention to what really matters and weeding out what doesn't before you lose the things that matter. So that's just something to sit on, kind of think about.
Perfect. I'm gonna have to think about that quote.
I like that quote.
All right. So I wanted to keep our first call kind of light, not super content heavy. So does anybody have any questions, concerns, anything that they want to discuss or kind of pick some of our brains while we are here? Allison, Sarah.
I'll say this, a lot of, I think what's really important, when we're talking about going back to basics is going back to Guide to Growth and really watching that series. So if you have questions about, pretty much anything, the first thing I would say is go back to Guide to Growth and watch the series. If you haven't watched in a year, watch it again. And then if you have questions from there, reach out to the team page, in terms of your, chain of success, your workstation, YouTube, your team page, your sponsor, that kind of thing.
Yes, and I've posted all of the Guide to Growth in our team page. So all of those series, they're broken down in our team page. Hold on. Yes, I love, 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 love the Guide to Growth series. It's so great. And the homework that they tell you to do at the end, if you do those things, again, you will be successful and you will see your business grow. But it goes back to the basics of the 3 legs of success. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Maybe things that are working well this month or things that aren't working well?
I just thought of something. I'm just curious as far as like when you're communicating with like your customers, as far as like releases, limited time offers, that type of thing. What avenue or what form of communication do you typically get the most feedback or response from? Like texting, sending Facebook messages directly to them, email, that type of thing? Because like I took like 4 days doing like the whole printing out reports and contacting every single person that had something discontinuing, and I really didn't get a whole lot of responses back, and I just didn't know if I'm like need to try a different form of communication, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think honestly, it kind of depends on your customer.
Yeah.
There are customers that I know I can text religiously at any time of the day or night. They will probably answer because I know who's awake, who's not awake, who has kids, who's doing bedtime, all of that. There are some customers that we email back and forth because they're a little bit older. Generally, how I handle LTOs is I post about them first, always in my VIP page. And I can kind of see, I guess, gauge everybody's interest level by the amount of comments, the amount of likes. Usually my VIPs, if they want it, they comment or they will text me immediately and say, OMG, put me on your list for, I don't know, Harry Potter or whatever the case may be. And then generally from there, I guess too, it depends on what LTO we're talking about. If it is one of our big LTOs, summer collection, holiday collection, harvest collection, I make jot forms and I share those with you guys, and I email out jot forms to every single customer that has ever ordered from me. And then I also post that jot form in my VIP page. And then what I've also learned is you have to circle back with people because they'll say, oh, I need to do this form. Life happens, they totally forget. And it's the last night of the holiday or harvest jot form that I've made. And I'm having all of these orders come in because I circled back. Hey, I know you mentioned you wanted this warmer. It's last call. Are you still interested? And 9 times out of 10, they say, oh my gosh, I completely forgot. Yes, I'm filling out the form right now. Is it too late? So don't, give up hope that you spent all of this time going through and like messaging people. Look at that as, okay, you spent all this time going through the reports. You're getting to know your customer base more. Oh, Susie Q loved her, I don't know, Harvest Blessings and cider mill. You'll know, okay, when they come back in the fall, hopefully, maybe, I don't know, to reach out to her and say, hey, some of your favorite scents are back. And it also helps you get to know your customers a little bit better. You get to know what scents they like, what scent categories they like, which in then turn helps you with Scentsy Club. And with this being a transition month, I always have the most amount of club subscribers usually during transition months because I've reached out to customers and I say, hey, for example, one of my really good family friends, I knew that she loved brownie batter, and brownie batter got discontinued a year and a half ago, I want to say, or a year ago. I reached out to her and I said, your favorite's leaving. You better join Scentsy Club. It's the only way you're going to get this bar. And she did it immediately because I knew that was her favorite scent. I don't know if that really answers your question, Sarah, but I really feel like you kind of got to gauge your customers and figure out what type of communication works best for them.
Gotcha.
I'll add to that, Sarah, too. So I don't think I've ever pulled reports, and I know what you're talking about. I've heard leaders talk about it, but it's just something that I don't feel like I've ever had time to do. Now, what I have done is for like the big releases, like Sarah mentioned, like Harvest Collection. This past harvest, I did look at who ordered the year before that. Same thing with holiday. Like, and now of course I know who loves Disney. I know who loves fall. I know who loves summer. So some of it just comes with time. And those are the people that I reach out to individually. What else I would also encourage you to do is maybe focus on trying to get more people in your VIP so that they see you posting about it. And then I would say my main thing is VIP. I have gotten a decent amount of orders just posted on social media like Facebook or Instagram, but for the most part, I email and post to my VIP. I only reach out individually for my true, like, I know this person loves Disney. I know this person loves holiday, whatever it is. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, but I think it really just, again, goes back to getting to know your customers, like Sarah said, and then you'll know who you want to reach out to and who, might just see an email.
Yeah, I guess I feel like what I've been doing, I don't know if it's not working or if it's just the people aren't seeing, I don't know. Because I feel like I post and like in my VIP group, I have a whole bunch of people in there and I can see like maybe 30 people actually have seen it. And then maybe 2 or 3 are actually liking or commenting on anything. And then if I message people, very seldom, maybe 2 or 3 will actually send something back. So I'm not sure if I'm just using the wrong form of communication and if I need to try to like come up with something different.
So my next question.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I think Jean and I might be thinking the same thing. So my next question would be, are you only reaching out to these people to make a sale every time and time again? Are you only posting on your VIP page when new releases come out, when things that are only Scentsy related? Because that's where building that connection is so powerful.
Yeah, I've been trying to intentionally post more things in there other than Scentsy related things. And it's still about the same, but I am like really, that's one of my goals this year is to make the relationships better. But it's still like very slow, I guess.
And it will be. It
Yeah.
takes time. It really takes time. And that was one of my goals last year, personally, was to kind of revamp my VIP page. And I'll be honest, I still can be better at it. But I really try at least once, if not twice a month, at least. I do freebie Fridays and try that, even if it's a scent circle, even if it's a bar of wax, something to show your VIPs that you appreciate them. And it can be some of the best ones that I've had have been share a picture of your pet, share a picture of what you're doing this weekend, share your favorite scent. And you'll be amazed at when you start doing it time and time, you'll get more engagement. But I promise the first couple of times I did Freebie Friday, people were like, I'm not I'm not doing this. Who knows what she's giving? And my last thing that I did, big thing, was I did my 12 days of Scent Miss.
Mhm.
And I had hundreds of comments. I know Laura's in my VIP page. It was so popular, and the feedback that I got was great. People loved seeing it and they loved engaging with other people. But it took all year to get to that level. So again, don't give up
Mhm.
if it's not working January or February, March. You've got to do it consistently. And it goes back to building those connections. So friending those people on Facebook, commenting on their pictures, commenting on their wall when it's their birthday, sending a message saying happy birthday. Or I know Sierra just posted, I think it was today. I don't know. I have mom brain, COVID brain, whatever you want to say. Just, hey, I thought of you, or this made me think of you. I hope you guys are doing well. If you know somebody's struggling, reach out to them. Just build that personal connection, because if you're a good human, I promise it's going to come back full circle. It might not come back right away, but it will.
Yeah.
I was gonna add to, because I think we all kind of thought the same thing when she said her last comment, but I don't know if you listen to Katie Lassiter much, but if you go subscribe, I forget the name of it, but she has a training on how to basically get engagement in your VIP page, as well as maybe Googling some of like the whole Facebook algorithm type stuff. Like, what do you need to do to get more people seeing it? And then also, like what Sarah said, like figuring out what people like and what they don't like. I'll be honest, the post I always get the most on is just share a photo of something you love. I get the most comments on something that's simple versus like a game or anything like that. So I definitely have spent some time too, and I still have a long way to go, but on trying to figure out how to get more engagement and things like that. And it takes time, like we can't possibly know every customer right away, but like the two ladies that I posted the pictures of this morning, like there are people that have repetitively ordered from me or something stuck out, and I can tell you, a lot about them. And again, some of that comes also from giving them a reason to have a conversation with you, which I think I posted about, like your happy mail. Those are the things that get people coming to you and talking to you, and like maybe you get a message just like, oh, that reminded me of this, or whatever, and then you learn about their kid because it reminded them of that, like it just leads into basic conversation for you to learn about them. So anyway, that was this long bar, but
And Gina, I cut you off. So share your
sorry,
thoughts.
Gina.
Yeah, I was waiting to see what Gina had to say too, because I had something
So
to add to it.
what I wanted to add was your VIP page. While that's a great place to share the information, your VIPs are already your customers. Okay. So if you're trying to expand your customer base, you can challenge, okay, for people to invite their friends. The other thing you want to do is your Instagram profile public?
Yes, mine is.
So make sure if your profiles are public, that's good.
Mhm.
See it. But also if you're sharing in your stories, if you're sharing how you're using a product, like how are you using it? So here's an example. Right next to me, right freaking next to me. Because you know what else is right freaking next to me? This thing on the couch. So guess what I'm using? This stuff. And it sits right here. So how are you using in your life? Share, not sell.
Makes sense.
So I just want to point out that I giggled. I heard Sarah giggle, like what Gina just said, and I threw praise hands up. People ask all the time, how are you getting Scentsy out there? How are you getting people to engage in your VIP, I circle back to my stories. So when I share, like, the whole point of stories is to tell the story of the day. It's a 24-hour clip of something going on in your life, right? And we use it to share images of things. We use it to show what we're doing. Like, people know I'm going to share something ridiculous about Bowser. They're going to know I've got away from my pothead stories with what's in the Instant Pot. But people know some of the things that I'm going to share. People know what, but I literally, when I'm typing something out in my VIP page, go look in my story for inspiration. Go look in my story for what I did this week with this product. Pro tip, go look in my story. People literally go to the story, they look and they see what I did with Scentsy Fresh. They look and see how I blended wax. They look and see, what I'm doing. So if you're looking for ideas on engagement, I put stickers in my stories too, to have them engage with what I'm doing. Like, oh, what do you think of this? Or do you agree with this? Or has this happened to you? Like, you can find ways for people to circle back and let your story be, like what Gina said, something that you're sharing of how you're using, not selling necessarily. Like, you can put information in there, but that's how I engage.
That makes sense.
And I'll take it a step further. With sharing on stories, again, show yourself using the product, show your face. I know it's really hard, but that's what people connect with. They connect with you making a face because your dog stinks and you're spraying down your bed. They make a connection when you spill your wax, because we all spill wax, and oh crap, now Sarah's cleaning up her wax because Lexi hit it. That's what people want to see. They want to see the real life. How is she using, for example, today in my stories, I shared our Wafin diffuser right next to our Peloton, and I talked about why that was a perfect spot for it. So sharing again,
You made me want to put mine there.
But see, like, that's how you can mingle me working out. Well, sort of, not really right now. Working out with Scentsy, and it's personal, and you can build connections that way, because people will message you about Peloton and they'll ask you who your favorite instructor is and all of this stuff, rather than a generic flyer again posted on your stories, which will get you probably 0 engagement.
Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns, comments? Allison, you've been really quiet. Sarah, do you have any other questions?
My product lists.
You what?
I'm folding and stamping product lists.
Nice. That's on my to-do list. Sarah, did you have any other questions, or did anybody else have any other questions?
Nope. I'm gonna work on practicing all of these things.
It takes time. It really takes time, and doing it consistently. But again, I feel like
the J months are super hard, by the way. I mean, statistically, they are the hardest months of the year. January, July, and June are the 3 hardest months.
But knowing that, we can prepare better going into those months. So, like I said, if now's the time to start booking for February. So my week next week is going to be leading the page, and I'm going to be having little challenges for some people to do. And hopefully that's going to set everybody to have a successful February. Because as a group, I'm really wanting us to grow. And not stay, I guess, in our little comfort bubbles, because it's so easy to stay what we're comfortable with. We're all human, right? Like we love, okay, I'm going to focus on this right here because I know I'm good at it. And it works. And yeah, maybe I'll get my 1,000 PRV or 2,000 PRV. But I really want us to push ourselves and break those comfort zones, because that's where we're going to see the growth. That's where you're going to get your dream paychecks of whatever that is, 500, 1,000, 2,000, $3,000 is when we break those comfort zones. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by going back to the basics, booking your parties, following up with customers, and getting people to join. Which then in turn can explode so fast, and join and change people's lives, which is so powerful. All right. If nobody has anything else, we will end the call. But I wanted to thank you guys for all showing up. It's super important to show up for your business. I strongly believe leaders are born at events. Leaders show up to trainings. Leaders show up on the team page. Leaders share how they're working. And if you want to be a leader, do what successful people are doing. So when you see somebody on our team page sharing comments or pictures or messages about asking people to party, if you don't have any parties booked, you best be on your phone. I don't care if you copy, I don't care. And I'm sure the other leaders on the page, they don't care if you copy our words or verbiage to book parties. We want you guys to be successful. That's why we're going to be sharing those posts. So if you see us doing something and you haven't done it, do it. All right. No other concerns, comments, questions? I see Laura thinking, Gina's thinking.
I know. I can't think of anything.
All right. Well, hopefully I can get this recorded, uploaded. That'll be a different story. So if I can get it uploaded to YouTube, I will post it to the team page. That way, if people had other plans tonight, they can watch the recording. All right. Well, like I said, thanks for showing up. And I guess we will see you on Monday Matters at 8 o'clock. Bye, guys.
Bye.